If you have turned on the news at all lately, you know exactly what is happening outside. Meteorologists are issuing severe warnings about intense El Niño climate patterns, bringing record-breaking, blistering heat waves across the entire globe this summer. But while humans are staying indoors and complaining about the heat index, our dogs are silently taking the absolute brunt of this extreme weather shift. You see, what feels like a normal sunny afternoon to us is currently a danger zone. You put the leash on your dog and you head out for a walk. 20 minutes later, your dog's tongue is hanging out far past their teeth, curling up like a spoon, and their breathing sounds like a heavy, raspy engine. They suddenly stop, their legs buckle, and they collapse on the grass. In my veterinary clinic, these extreme summer months are an absolute nightmare. Every single week, heartbroken pet parents carry their collapsed, overheated dogs through my doors. And the most tragic part, in almost every single case, the owner had absolutely no idea their dog was in danger until it was too late. Of course we love the summer, and we want our dogs to enjoy it with us. But with this current El Niño baking our pavements and pushing humidity to record highs, a breezy 85-degree day to a human can feel like a fatal 100-plus degree oven to a dog. If you don't know the silent, invisible signs of canine heat stroke, a simple walk around the block can become a fatal tragedy in less than 15 minutes. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Tony Lee, your neighborhood veterinarian. I know that sounds terrifying, especially with the news reports right now, but I am not here to scare you today. I am here to empower you and protect your best friend. Today we are doing the Ultimate Summer Survival Masterclass. I'm going to teach you a brilliant 60-second hack you can do right at your front door that will drop your dog's core temperature by 10 degrees before you even step outside into this heat wave. We are also going to shatter 3 massive summer myths, including why giving your hot dog ice water or throwing a wet towel over their back might actually be the very things that send them into lethal shock. This video will save lives this summer. Hit that subscribe button to join our community of protective pet parents, and let's dive right into Chapter 1. The biology of canine heat. Before we can talk about how to keep your dog cool, you have to understand how their body handles this extreme weather. Humans are incredibly lucky. When we get hot, our entire body sweats. That sweat evaporates in the breeze, which acts like a full-body air conditioning system. But dogs do not have this luxury. Dogs have incredibly thick fur, and they do not have sweat glands all over their bodies. They only have a few active sweat glands, which are called merocrine glands, and they are located entirely inside their paw pads. That means 99% of a dog's biological cooling system relies on just one single action: panting. When a dog pants, they take in cooler air, the moisture inside their lungs and mouth evaporates, and they exhale hot air. But here is the massive flaw in their biology during an El Niño heat wave. If the air outside is heavily humid, or the temperature rises above 85 degrees, the air they are breathing in is just as hot as the air they are breathing out. Their internal air conditioner completely breaks down. Their core body temperature skyrockets from a normal 101 degrees up to 105, 106, or even 109 degrees. At 109 degrees, the proteins inside their brain and their organs literally begin to cook and break down. Cellular death begins. This is canine heat stroke, and it happens in a matter of minutes. So how do we prevent their core temperature from spiking on a summer walk? We have to act as their biological air conditioner. Welcome to Chapter 2, the 10-degree pre-walk hack. You saw the title of this video. Let me give you the absolute best veterinary secret for summer walks. It takes 60 seconds, it costs nothing, and it dramatically lowers your dog's core temperature before they even step paw outside into the heat. Remember how I mentioned that a dog's only sweat glands are located in their paw pads? We are going to turbocharge those glands. 5 minutes before you go on a walk, take a simple washcloth and soak it in cool water. Thoroughly wipe down the bottom of all 4 of your dog's paw pads. Make sure the pads are visibly damp. Next, take that same cool, damp cloth and wipe the inside of your dog's armpits and the bare skin of their groin and inner thighs. Why are we wiping the armpits and the groin? Because those 2 specific areas contain the brachial and femoral arteries. These are massive blood vessels sitting just millimeters beneath the surface of thin, hairless skin. By applying cool moisture directly to these massive arteries, you are cooling the blood as it pumps through the body. Now, here is where the magic happens. When you step outside and the summer breeze hits those damp paw pads, armpits, and inner thighs, it causes rapid evaporative cooling. It acts exactly like human sweat. The evaporation violently pulls the heat out of the dog's bloodstream, acting like a giant invisible fan blowing directly onto their internal organs. It drops their perceived core temperature drastically, keeping them up to 10 degrees cooler on the exact same walk. Now that we know how to hack their biology, we must talk about the deadly mistakes owners make when trying to help. This is Chapter 3, the wet towel mistake. I see this happen all the time at summer barbecues. An owner sees their dog panting heavily, so they mean well, and they soak a thick beach towel in cold water. They drape the heavy wet towel completely over the dog's back like a cape. They think they are giving the dog a cool blanket. As a veterinarian, I am begging you, never, ever put a wet towel over the top of a hot dog. You are literally turning them into a boiling sauna. Here's the physics behind it. As the dog's body generates extreme heat, that heat naturally tries to rise and escape off their back into the air. When you drape a heavy, wet towel over their coat, you completely trap that heat from escaping. The dog's body heat rapidly warms the water in the towel. Within 3 minutes, that cool towel turns into a steaming hot, heavy blanket that suffocates their internal cooling system, driving their core temperature into dangerous heat stroke territory faster than if you had done nothing at all. The correct way. If you want to use a wet towel, you put the towel on the ground and command the dog to lay on top of it. A dog's belly has very little hair. When their bare belly presses against the cool, wet towel on the ground, the heat safely transfers out of their body into the earth, while their back remains open to the breeze so the heat can safely escape into the air. Dog on top of the towel, never towel on top of the dog. Which brings us to another incredibly dangerous summer myth. Chapter 4. The ice water shock. You get back from a long, hot summer walk. Your dog is panting like a freight train. You go to the kitchen, grab a bowl, and you fill it with freezing cold refrigerator water and a huge scoop of ice cubes. That sounds like heaven to a hot human, right? When a dog is dangerously hot, they are desperate for oxygen and hydration. If you drop a giant bowl of freezing ice water right in front of them, their instincts take over. They will frantically chug that water as fast as humanly possible. And that exact speed is where the catastrophe happens. As they violently gulp down the ice water, they inhale massive amounts of air into their stomach. Furthermore, dogs panting heavily gulp too much air when they drink ice water too fast. The shock of the cold, mixed with the rapid intake of air, heavily increases the risk of gastric dilatation volvulus, also known as bloat, where the stomach twists and cuts off blood supply. It is frequently fatal. A heavily panting dog can easily inhale a whole ice cube by accident, blocking their airway entirely. The correct way. When your dog is hot, you must give them room temperature water. Tepid, cool to the touch water is perfect. You want them to drink calmly so their body can slowly, naturally absorb the hydration without triggering that frantic gulping reflex. So here's the real vet secret. Ice itself isn't the enemy. Gulping is. It is 100% safe to let your dog lick ice cubes, crunch on crushed ice, or enjoy a frozen broth treat to cool down. You just want them to enjoy it slowly so they don't trigger that frantic gulping reflex. We've covered the towel and the water. Now we have to talk about the haircut. Welcome to Chapter 5, the shaving disaster. Every summer, local dog groomers make thousands of dollars doing something called summer shaves. Pet parents bring in their huskies, their golden retrievers, their Australian shepherds, and their Pomeranians, and tell the groomer, shave them all the way down. Give them a buzz cut so they don't sweat. I'm going to make a definitive medical statement right now. If your dog has a double coat, you should never, under any circumstances, shave them to the skin in the summer. You are actively destroying their natural protection against the heat. Double-coated dogs have 2 layers of fur, a harsh, long outer coat called the guard hairs, and a soft, fluffy undercoat. In the winter, the undercoat grows thick to trap body heat and keep them warm. In the spring, they blow their coat and shed that heavy undercoat naturally. When summer hits, that outer layer of guard hairs remains. This top coat is a biological marvel. It reflects the sun's harsh UV rays away from the skin. More importantly, it creates a layer of shaded, insulated, breezy air between the hot sun and the dog's skin. It literally acts like the insulation in the walls of your house, keeping the hot summer air out. When you take clippers and shave a golden retriever to the skin, you strip away their house's insulation. The blazing 95-degree sun is now beating directly onto their pink, exposed skin. Not only will they get severe, agonizing sunburns, but their core body temperature will spike 20% faster because they have no defense against the environmental heat. The correct way. Do not shave a double-coated dog. Instead, you must aggressively brush them. Use an undercoat rake or a de-shedding tool every single day during the summer to pull out any trapped, dead winter fur. This opens up the airflow so the breeze can reach their skin, while leaving that beautiful, protective outer coat completely intact to shield them from the sun. But even if we do all the right things, accidents happen. Dogs push themselves too hard playing fetch. The temperature spikes faster than we realized. What do you do when prevention fails? This is the most vital part of today's masterclass. Chapter 6, Spotting the Silent Red Flags. Dogs are fiercely loyal. They will literally run after a tennis ball until their heart stops, just to make you happy. They will not tap you on the shoulder and say, "Excuse me, I'm having a heat stroke." You have to know the silent signs, because if you wait until the dog collapses and starts having a seizure, their organs are already failing. Red flag number 1 is the spoon tongue. Pay very close attention to how your dog is panting. Normal panting is fast but relaxed. The tongue hangs down comfortably. However, if your dog is in the early stages of heat stroke, the tongue will stretch out of the mouth as far as physically possible. The very bottom tip of the tongue will begin to widen and curl upward, resembling the shape of a soup spoon. This is the dog's body maximizing the surface area of the tongue, desperately fighting to evaporate more heat. Red flag number 2 is the capillary refill test. This is the single greatest skill a dog owner can learn. If your dog is acting exhausted, pull back their upper lip and look at their gums. A healthy, cool dog has bubblegum pink gums. If a dog is entering heat stroke, their blood is thickening and their circulation is failing. Their gums will turn a deep, dark brick red or even a muddy grayish purple color. Press your thumb firmly against their gums until the spot turns white. Let go and count how many seconds it takes for the pink blood to return to that spot. In a healthy dog, it takes 1 to 2 seconds. In a dog suffering from heat exhaustion, it can take 4 to 5 long seconds for the blood to slowly creep back. Red flag number 3 is neurological confusion. If you call your dog's name and they just stare blankly at you. If they look like they is drunk, stumbling low to the ground. They aren't just tired from a long walk. Their brain is swelling from the heat. If you see the spoon tongue, the dark brick red gums, or the drunken stumble, you have entered the absolute danger zone. This brings us to our final and most critical lesson. Chapter 7, the emergency action plan. If you recognize the signs of heat stroke, you have roughly 5 to 10 minutes to alter the outcome of their life. Do not panic. You must be the clinical, calm leader your dog needs. Step 1, get them out of the sun immediately. Move them to deep shade or preferably into an air-conditioned car or building. Step 2, we need to gradually drop their core temperature without shocking their system. Take tepid, cool, room temperature water and pour it entirely over their belly, their armpits, and the back of their neck. Step 3, airflow is your best friend. If you get them into your car, turn the air conditioning on full blast. Point every single vent directly onto the dog's wet body and start driving to the nearest emergency veterinary clinic. Do not blast freezing AC on a dry dog, and do not wrap them in blankets. You need that cold air constantly hitting the wet water on their belly and armpits to create massive evaporative cooling while you drive. Step 4, call the emergency vet while you are driving. Tell them, my dog is exhibiting signs of heat stroke. My ETA is 10 minutes. This allows the vet clinic to have IV fluids and oxygen tubes waiting on the exact table the second you walk through the doors. Take a very deep breath. Heat stroke is a terrifying reality of the summer, but it is also 100% preventable. Armed with the knowledge you learned today, you are never going to be that pet parent who accidentally ignores the warning signs. You are the educated, proactive protector of your dog's life. Think about the toolkit you have now to combat this El Niño heat. You are going to use the 10-degree paw and armpit hack before you go outside. You are going to leave the double coat unshaved, providing beautiful solar insulation. You know to ditch the wet towel blankets and the dangerous gulping of ice water. And most importantly, you now know exactly how to pull their lip back to check the capillary refill time to catch the silent signs before danger strikes. Summer is meant to be fun. It's meant for hiking, swimming, and building incredible memories with your furry family members. You are now prepared to give them the safest, happiest summer of their entire lives. I want you to go practice that capillary refill gum test on your dog today so you know exactly what normal looks like for them. Let me know in the comments below what breed of dog you have and if they have a thick double coat that you have to brush out this summer. I read as many comments as I can, and I absolutely love hearing about your dogs. If this masterclass video brought you peace of mind and taught you a trick you didn't know, please hit that like button. It tells the YouTube algorithm that this video can save lives, and it helps push it to other pet parents before the heavy summer heat hits. Don't forget to hit subscribe, keep your dogs cool and hydrated, and I will see you all in the very next video.